Hello there.
What's up?
We will give everyone time to come in because we're early.
Yeah.
Glad you got in without any technical issues. So did I. So tonight is
Mhm.
already a good night.
Okay.
Hello to everyone that's here joining us early. The early bird gets the worm, is what they say, right? So thank you guys for joining. We'll give everyone a chance to get in. So we will just sit back and chillax for a few minutes.
Bam.
Nice.
I'm telling you, it's the best part of my job. I have a built-in happy hour. How's the rest of your day? Good.
It went well. It
Yeah.
did. It went really well.
Good,
A
man. It felt
productive
good out.
day.
It felt good outside today,
It
and
was very nice outside. It really was. I didn't get to stay much long out. I think I spent like 30 minutes outside just taking the dogs for a walk, but it was nice.
oh, they can't tease us like that.
I think here it's going to be warm all week though. So
Oh, really?
I think we're going to get some rain, but it's still the temperatures are still going to be in those mid 60s, which was nice.
I put on shorts today. Okay.
See you see you just
Yeah,
showing
I push
off
the limit. I push the limit. I don't care.
now. Too funny. Hello everyone. Y'all know what we do here. Tell us where you're coming in from as you come in. Tell us your city and state. Thank you guys for joining us this week. Oh, we've got Kansas City, Missouri, and Fort Worth, Texas, Fort McMurray, Alberta, Canada. We always have somebody international on. Welcome, welcome. Canada in the house. Washington, D.C., Augusta, Georgia. Hi, Miss Vivian from Charlotte, North Carolina. It's not a party until Miss Vivian show up. They're going to be coming in quick. Jason and I were just talking about the weather. Hopefully, the weather is nice where you guys all are. We got a little sunshine where we are, so that was good. We'll start at 3 past the hour, so we'll give it 6 minutes. Is everybody else like me that after you say 6 minutes, you want to say, Dougie Fresh, you're on? Oh, it's sunny in Charlotte today. It was sunny in Charlotte. That was good. Good evening, Maria. Welcome this evening.
I'm getting my technology on.
Good.
Yeah, my technology on.
Key is a good connection, and I hear you well. I see you fine. We were on a call earlier, and the speaker had a bad connection, so but I hear you very well.
My only bad connection will be my 1-year-old if she wake up during this and decide to do this presentation with me.
That's okay. The community will absolutely understand.
They got to know family business, family business. Yeah.
Welcome in, everyone. Continue to share your city and state so that Jason can see what part of the country you all are from.
Yeah. Any Tennessee people showed up yet?
Yeah, so Jason's from Tennessee, so all your Tennessee people, give him a shout out.
I live in Tennessee.
You live in
I'm from
Tennessee.
Alabama now. We can't make my mama mad.
Trust me, I understand. I still claim where I am truly from as well, so I get it.
Sound good.
Nice. We got Texas in the house, Michigan, Detroit, Chicago, Virginia Beach, Missouri, Jonesboro, Georgia, Plano, Texas, Brooklyn in the house.
What up?
Got Atlanta, Philly, Houston, Ohio, Baltimore, LA. Nice.
Okay.
There's an Alabama for you. Barrett's from Alabama, from Montgomery.
We got a dump in the house. Somebody had to be from. We everywhere now.
Oh, and you Leslie's from Huntsville. Now y'all gonna show out. Now all the Alabama people gonna show out. Leslie's from Huntsville.
Let me know what we had. Oh, we got Bessemer in the house. Bessemer.
That's what's up. All right, we got 2 more minutes before we start.
Okay. I brought a bunch of surprises too for y'all.
Okay, we like surprises.
Yeah, I say we had to do these before, but I didn't tell any of the other pitch points and stuff that we really got coming. So I saved it for 10K.
Nice. Oh, we got a Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Charlotte, Tennessee. Oh, no, Miss Vivian says, Jason, are you familiar with Charlotte, Tennessee?
I have never been to Charlotte, Tennessee. And there's a Charlotte in Nashville that I know really well. How far is Charlotte, Tennessee from Nashville?
I'm sure Miss Vivian will tell us.
Yeah, check that out. That's actually part of our expansion too, which is great. Like we get to go to other cities.
Mm.
You know, we're in Nashville and Memphis, but we really want to get out into more areas of Tennessee.
Nice. All right, it is 8:03. We are going to get started, and people will continue to come in. Welcome again this evening for the Bet on Black pitch with 10K Project. I want to welcome Jason Ridgel, and he is with Guidance Whiskey, is our pitch for this evening. Look, there's the bottle. So I want to set up kind of, just kind of tell you what we're going to do this evening, show you where you can invest if you're interested after Jason or during Jason's pitch. And then I'll turn it over to Jason to talk to you, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. Please put your question in your answers, your questions in the Q&A, not the chat. We do have an admin tonight helping us out to get rid of some of those duplicates that slowed me down a little bit last week, so that's perfect. So make sure you put all your questions in the Q&A, not the chat. We can still talk in the chat, give your shout outs and your woohoos and all of that stuff in the chat, but make sure the questions go in the Q&A so that we don't miss anything. You guys asked amazing questions last week, and I have no doubt in my mind you will outdo yourself tonight. So make sure we can get to all of those in the Q&A. I'm going to start by showing my screen really quickly so that I can show you where Jason's campaign is. Okay. Can you guys see the Honeycomb Credit website? Perfect. So Jason's campaign is housed on the Honeycomb Credit website, and Honeycomb specializes in debt offerings. So Jason's pitch tonight is about his debt offering. Okay. So if you go to Honeycomb Credit, you go to live campaigns, you can click there, but Jason is being highlighted on the front page. So we are going to click on his campaign here. And then what you can see here is a summary of what the offering is. But you guys know how we do. We go deep until the all the documents to see what the legal documents say, right? So here's the SEC filing. Here's the offering statement. Here's a bio about Jason. And then here I thought was really cool that Honeycomb does like a little extra deal summary that I thought was very, very helpful. So remember I said this was a debt deal. You're going to get all of your details from the website, right? So Jason's going to tell you about the business, his plan to scale in the future, how he's going to make his investors return. But you want to get all of the details here about the actual offering, okay? So you can see the deal summary, and if you scroll down, they even give you a nice earning potential chart, which I thought was super helpful when I was looking at this the other day. I thought it was straight to the point and can answer all of your questions. So spend some time on the website after the pitch today. One of the things that Honeycomb's also going to do, I'm going to stop sharing, but Honeycomb has extended an amazing offer to the 10K community. And what they've done is they have waived their fees for the first 24 hours following Jason's pitch, right? So they've waived their fees. That's huge, right? For a portal to do that. And they did it for us. So if you're interested, if you like what you hear tonight and you're interested in becoming an investor, then make sure you log in, read everything. And if you want to do it within the 24 hours, you can take advantage of that offer. But Jason's campaign is up until 3/19. So his deadline is 3/19, and then his campaign this round at least will close. Okay. All right. So with that said, I am going to turn it over to you, sir, so you can tell us about this amazing company you have built.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you so much, Tawana and the 10K family for having me. Um, I took a picture of this setup before we got started because I was like, wow, we started 2 years ago and look at where we are now. Even being able to do a pitch for capital for the growth of my company that I didn't even know would be existing, 5 years ago is amazing. So thank you so much for having me. Thank you for what you guys are doing to really help us. I mean, and being intentional and giving opportunities to entrepreneurs like myself. Um,
Welcome.
Everybody, thank y'all for being on here. Like I was, me and Tawana was on here earlier today working through all of the technical Zoomy things. So we are going to try to jump right in. This is my first running the PowerPoint by myself. All right, no help, no hands, just me. So y'all bear with me just a little bit. All right, I'm going to share my screen now. Let me see. Can y'all see that?
Not yet.
Not yet. What about now?
Mm-mm.
No,
Down at the bottom, did you hit that share the screen button?
I did. Okay. See why this is why you got family. All right.
There we go.
What about now?
It's coming up now. But I see all the
Okay.
slides. There you go.
Okay.
Bam.
All right. All right. All right. All right. So first, I'd like to start off just telling you a little bit about Guidance Whiskey. You guys can all see the slides. This Guidance Whiskey gives an alternative to the same old whiskey hierarchy. Guidance not only challenges the whiskey norm at every level, but it's triumphing factors the industry claim wouldn't work. Our 2-year age whiskey with a heavy corn base has provided our customers with a product that they can be excited about. The quality of Guidance is easy on the palate, making it a favorite of bars and restaurants and a must-have for most stay-at-home bars. Um, Elaborating on our product, we are a 2-year small batch craft whiskey. We launched Guidance Whiskey 2 years ago in Nashville, Tennessee. It was October of 18. I was working on it 2 years before that. I was living in Los Angeles, California, and I was the director of a healthcare facility. We were spending about $250,000 a year on entertaining doctors. And about half of that budget was on alcohol. So me being an entrepreneur, that's what they called it at the time, entrepreneur. I saw an opportunity to get into a market that we hadn't been represented in. Also, a lot of the stuff that we were buying to me just wasn't good. It wasn't a good product. It didn't matter how much it cost. It was products that burned my chest. And I always joke and tell people, really, I started this company because I got tired of lying. I got tired of saying I like whiskey and stuff that I didn't enjoy. Like you standing there, you drinking an 8-year-old small batch and it's choking you and you like, Chuck, yeah, this is amazing. And then you almost throwing up. And I got tired of doing that. We used to do that a lot. So I wanted to put a product out that had full flavor and no bite. Because as I got older, I couldn't drink the same way that I used to drink. Like, I mean, it was actually harsh to me. And a lot of things that I was drinking when I was younger actually stopped tasting good to me. And I felt like a lot of my friends were starting to say the same thing. Like we weren't even enjoying drinking unless you were having to mix something with a lot of with sugar and and a lot of things that you couldn't just enjoy the actual beverage. So we created Guidance to really go against everything that the industry had at the time that was supposed to be the best of the best. For the whiskey people on here, and definitely the bourbon people, being 2 years old can actually be a turnoff. If you're just judging by just the age statement, you can't really do anything with a whiskey that young. Also, we're 80 proof. And so previous to the last couple of years, there hadn't been anything that could give you a big full flavor at 80 proof in under 2 years. So we went to work for about a year with the distillery in Iowa that decided to work with us, and was able to create a product that did just that. I think some people on here have had a chance to taste it, so they can vouch for us a little bit. But it made it. It's important that we understand the part on here that says about bars and restaurants, because also when we created a product that needed approachability. So we could have created something that was, more in depth, super aged, but those products tend to exclude a part of the community. We wanted to bring people to the whiskey community. So it's totally approachable. If you're a novice, you will love it. And you'll actually get excited about whiskeys and other bourbons and trying other things. If you have a super developed palate, you'll respect it, right? You'll be able to taste the notes, maraschino cherries, the vanilla, you'll feel that. So it's a great starter whiskey. It blends well with cocktails. Numerous bartenders and general managers, they love playing with our whiskey because they can do so much with it, and it can be drank, which makes it a year-round pour. Most of the time when you think about whiskeys and bourbons, you think about cold weather. Most of the time in the summer, people go towards lighter varieties. But with Guidance and the flavor being so mild but strong, you can mix it with cocktails, and it gives you a year-round advantage to being in the market. All right. Oh, I get to talk about myself now. All right. Jason Ridgel, entrepreneur, community activist, whiskey distiller. Before I was doing any of this, I started my first company when I was 23 years old. It was a cleaning franchise. I was a probation officer for the state of Tennessee at the time. I was one of the youngest probationers in the state, probation officers in the state. The first day I started, the person who was supposed to train me quit. So I inherited a 150-person caseload that was 70% older than me by 10 to 15 years on my first day. So if that gives you any inclination about having to handle new industries really, really quickly, I've been doing it for a very long time. But within a year, I started my first cleaning service, and I actually used my probationers, the people that were on my caseload, to work in our companies, because we had discovered that when you're on probation, you have to have a job, and the people had to report into us, and we would give them a list, and it would say, call these places you can get jobs. A lot of our people kept saying these aren't good jobs, people are treating us wrong. So one day I just went down the list and started calling them myself, acted like I had just got out of jail, and the responses I got were horrible. I mean, $4.50 an hour, take it or leave it. Some of the numbers weren't even, they were disconnected. So I saw that we were telling people that we had a resource for them that we really didn't have, and we were penalizing them if they didn't have jobs. So being able to create a job for people on my caseload, we paid them. I don't want to date myself. It was about 20 years ago, but we were paying $10 an hour back then. And I took that problem solving effort to any business that I've ever had. I own a medical equipment company, Jujusco Medical, which is named after my sons, Justin and Colin. And also Opry Medical Group, which is based here in Nashville. And those all fight opioid abuse. We help people get medical equipment through their insurance that combats pain without pills. And that's what I've been doing for about the last 10 years. It's not the sexiest business at all, but it serves a purpose, and we've really, really been able to grow. So each business that I'm in actually touches the community in some way and has a huge give back policy. Graduated from Tennessee State University, Go Big Blue, HBCU support. As you'll see that as some of the support for the brand too. I cannot say how much my HBCU brothers and sisters have just chimed in, helping us take our message and our whiskey all over the world, not just the United States, but all over the world. I am a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. The Qs have done their part as well. So even my sorority and fraternity brothers all over the country have just really stood behind us, and you can see that in the product. One of the things that we look at being, it says right here about being uniquely positioned to be uniquely successful. Guidance started as a small batch premium craft whiskey, which there wasn't a lot of Black owned whiskeys in that space when we started. So we cut our teeth on being a wonderful, wonderful whiskey. We went into, before the pandemic, we went into cocktail bars. We were in high-end restaurants. We started on premise. Now, for y'all, on premise means bars, restaurants, clubs, stuff like that. Off premise means liquor stores. We're a $50 bottle of whiskey in the store, so we wanted people to interact with the whiskey. So that's why we cultivated a culture of fine dining around it. I think we were in about 30 of the high-end restaurants in Nashville before pandemic. So we were doing really well, and then the pandemic came and those huge channels changed. They went away overnight. And it put us in a position where we had to pivot, probably like everybody on this call. You had to figure out, okay, what are you going to do now? And we were able to find a good pivot in going straight and direct to liquor stores. We sought out not just Black-owned liquor stores, but the top liquor stores in the city of Nashville, and we started doing tastings. I think in 2020, we did over 57 tastings. We've been everywhere from Kentucky to New York to California, putting the product in people's faces and letting them taste it. That's the number one thing that you'll be able to do in this business is the proof is always in the pudding. All right. Fun part, revenue growth. The snapshot of guidance, we actually really did double our revenue in 2020. Our distributor was happy, our distillery was happy, but all of that was in the second half of the year. In the first part of the year, I think there was months where we only sold 3 bottles. We were able to adopt an online marketing campaign. You were able to buy our liquor in 44 states. At this point, I think we're one of the only minority brands that's available in that many states. There might be 2 or 3 others, but being able to expand our reach, giving people an opportunity to connect with it, to be able to connect with the people that we couldn't see face to face, we had to touch them in a different way. We do a lot through social media. We do a lot through collaborations. We do a lot through even community service. There's a lot of things when you talk about a whiskey brand, there's the actual juice, there's the stuff that you put in the bottle, but then there's also what it makes you feel. There's also what it goes along with. There's also the memories you have when you drink it for the first time. There's what's going on. We've been able to tap into a market of people using our products as gifts. Through Father's Day, I think Father's Day was one of the highest grossing months. That month was one of the highest grossing months for us because people were giving their fathers gifts of guidance. That was one of the most touching times in the business for me because I got a chance to see the messages that people were putting on the bottles when they were getting them online. And it was saying, hey, Dad, this whiskey's as smooth as you. Hey, Dad, thanks for all the guidance you've given me. I'm giving you some back. That was one of the light joys of 2020, to see that people had started to embrace guidance as a part of their life. And that when you give a gift to someone that and they're accepting of it, we started seeing the messages of people saying, "Oh my God, thank you so much for this. Oh, I love this. This is my favorite whiskey." So that was one of the turning points for us to notice, okay, going into a lifestyle brand, the juice has to be good for everybody on here that knows their whiskeys and their bourbons. The juice has to be good, but you have to have something more if you're gonna sustain. Um, let me see. Oops. Okay. And so for why us? This is one of the best. This I love this question because it actually gets us to talk about collaboration, which is the number one way that we were able to grow during the pandemic. We sought out other artisan makers of products and we partnered with them. If you go, let me see, can I go this for a second? If you go to our website, you'll start to see, and you go to our shop. This part is one of the best things about us. It's shop. All right. So if you start here,
We can't see the website, Jason.
oh, y'all can't see it? Even though I'm sharing my screen?
Yeah, because you have to share, so it looks like you're still sharing the presentation.
Is it? Okay. Man.
Hold on, that's okay. Let me go to the website.
Yeah, help me out. Thank you. And I want to go to the shop part.
Okay.
Yeah, pull us up into the shop. Because that's one of the things when we talk about collaboration. I wanted people to kind of see exactly some of the things that we've done in just the last 6 months that have also been able to generate revenue. When you're talking whiskey, margins on liquor, and I'm always very transparent about this. I don't know, sometimes I get in trouble. They say you shouldn't tell the whole game, but it's people need to know this. The margin on alcohol is not really big. So it's a numbers game, right? The more you're able to sell, the more you'll produce. So being able to have other things that you can sell, t-shirts, hoodies, in this case, cigars, coffee, candles, these are all things that add margin. These are all things that add revenue to your business that might not be in the normal tradition of just whiskey. If you look at those cigars, we were partnered with a local company here in Nashville. They take our barrels, we ship them our barrels, they cut the tops off of them. They drop our cigars down into that barrel, they vacuum seal it, and they're fermented. So it is an amazing smoke. They take them, they put them in glass tubes, and even the box that they come in is handmade by a gentleman actually in Kentucky who's retiring. And so these boxes that we have, these are cedar boxes. Can y'all still see me? Can y'all see me? Can y'all see that?
Yeah, we can see you. Oh, that's a beautiful box.
Oh, it's one, and the smell is amazing. And it's cedar, it's handmade. And the boxes that he's making for us, these are the last one that he's making before he retired.
Nice.
So that's something that's special to us and special to the brand. If you go to the coffee is, we did a partnership with Gervais, and look at this. So he is a Darien, the guy that makes his coffee, he's third generation Haitian. I don't know if you can see, that's actually his family that's on the bag. They are just amazing. They're amazing people. They own their own land. He went back and bought the land from his family in Haiti and revitalized their farms. We're actually doing an episode of Guided, which is our it's like our YouTube series where we connect with people who actually enjoy our product, and we talk to them about their life. We actually are dropping a guided episode on him, and it talks about just the technicality of coffee, the history of coffee, things that I didn't even know. I've been blessed to be educated on it. And then coffee is a huge moneymaker. It's the number one consumed product in the world. I didn't know that. You know, I think whiskey, like spirits, is a close second, but actually coffee, the history of it goes even deeper. So connecting with him, if you look at the guidance candles, that's actually made by we partnered with a lady named Joyce Perryman in Atlanta. She's retired, and this is what she does in retirement. Is she finds bottles and she makes candles. So we did a complete partnership with her. So as you can see, the brand has a feel to it. As you start to see the bigger picture of things, we have so many collaborations lined up through music, through events. We're working with chocolatiers. We're working with chefs. Any way that we can get it out, because some people might not drink whiskey. Like my mom does not drink at all. You can't get her to. She won't even let guidance. She won't let a bottle of whiskey be in her car. Okay, but she will wear a guidance T-shirt. You know what I'm saying? So there's so many ways that we find to touch people. Now there is the thing that I wanted to kind of show y'all to get a little bit excited before we open up questions. And I didn't want to do a long presentation because I wanted people to be able to jump in. But
You want me to come out of the website?
Yeah, you can come out of the website. Now, can y'all see me still?
We can still see you, but we don't see the presentation yet. Again, you want to bring that back up.
Yeah. Okay. Honeycomb, I think Honeycomb Credit, Wild Honeycomb Credit. This is something that we wanted to be the first to try as far as a different way of lending.
Oh, we don't see the presentation yet, Jason.
You see it now?
No.
Okay. All right. Let me go back down to here. Let me go back down to here. Hey, I'm gonna be a whiz at this. Okay, I'm gonna be a whiz at this. I'm getting my education right here in front of everybody. Okay, can you see it now?
Yes, sir.
Boom. Okay, so why Honeycomb Credit? We like the idea actually of being able to. The number one question we get is, why don't you just go to a bank, right? Why don't you go to a bank or one private lender to raise this capital? And we could have, but you don't get the engagement of people if you do that. We went back to the approach of community, and so $100 from 1,000 people gives us more of a connection to the people that are giving us money than to go to a bank and get one loan and then you never see them again and they just want numbers. This is so much a contact sport. This is so much about getting with people and talking with people and growing. And plus, your customers have some of your best ideas. They have some of your best ideas. When we do tastings, we get to hear, I mean, because people have been in this, there's people who've been in this way longer than I have. And so if I never get a chance to talk to them, then I only have the ideas that I have sitting in my room with my board trying to figure stuff out. So doing Honeycomb gave us a chance to connect with way more people. I think right now we're up to like almost 100 people that have invested in this campaign. That's 100 people that not only have invested their money, but they're investing their ideas and their time and effort into helping our brand grow. So that's why we chose the Honeycomb platform. Last but not least, for this part, guidancewhiskey.com, you've already seen that. I think you guys can check our Instagram. We're Guidance Whiskey on Instagram, on Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, everything you can think, YouTube, everything you can think of, you can check us out at Guidance Whiskey. Before I stop the presentation part, I told Tawana that I had something that nobody else had actually ever seen in one of these pitches, because everybody wants to know what we're doing next. And we kind of keep it close to the hip. But for the 10K family, the next product that we will actually, one of the next products we'll be coming out with, can you see that? Can y'all read that? That says
Guidance
guidance.
Whiskey Prototype, 100 proof.
Yeah. Yeah, so we will be launching our 100 proof this year, for those people with the more developed palate that actually wanted, a bigger flavor, a bigger age statement.
For the
And
ones that like the burn in the chest.
hey, now here's the craziest thing. Now it's smoother than any 100 proof that anybody's ever tasted. So people are actually tasting like, oh my God, this 100 proof. So those are some of the things that our investors will get, because we won't release it to the end of the year. But these are some of the things that our investors will know about, that they'll get a chance to try first, and before it hits the market. Now, before that, if people have been hearing about ready to drinks. They call them RTDs. They've grown. They have gotten super, super popular over the last 2 years with one company. I think Diageo just bought out a 2-year-old seltzer company. They didn't disclose the numbers, but Diageo spends that bread. Those are the same people that bought out George Clooney and I think Ryan Reynolds companies, $1 billion and $500 million, respectively. So ready to drinks they're the future, at least the immediate future. So for guidance, we wanted to play in that space. And so we actually have a guidance whisk tea prototype that we will be dropping for the summer. So and nobody's ever seen these as far as our production goes. So we're pretty slated to have a really, really good run this summer in the RTD space. The tea, we call it Tea Punch, is amazing. We'll start in the South and then move our way west with it. But then coming into the wintertime, we will have that 100 proof, which people have been waiting for that. So that's my presentation. I hope I've told you guys a lot about the company. Ask me what you want to know.
All right. We will start the next segment, which is the Q&A segment. I will be reading all the questions in the Q&A. So if you've got a question for Jason about the business, please put it in the Q&A. And I'm going to read them in the order that I see them. Anonymous says, what is your market or target market? Only bars? You mentioned healthcare doctors. Can you tell us more about your marketing niche and target market?
Okay, great. So our target market right now is it's not on premise or off. We actually are in everything mode. That's one of the reasons that we're growing, because we've actually expanded from just Nashville, Tennessee, into 10 new markets, which will all be opening up in April, which is everything from California, New York, Missouri, Kentucky, Virginia, and Iowa. And I think I'm in Florida. I think I'm missing one. But we're talking to bars, we're talking to restaurants, we are talking to clubs, we are doing tastings at Rotary clubs, we are doing tastings at golf courses. I think, yeah, we have to be everywhere right now. We can't afford to miss any opportunities. And that's why that's why we're raising money to expand our team. Because right now it's been me and it's been friends and family, and we've done really, really well just with that part. But putting together an actual sales team, we'll be able to cover way more ground.
Very good. Are you able to share what sort of are you able to share what sort of strategic partnerships you will have for the ready to drink market?
Yeah, so right now the ready to drink, we're actually being sought out by two big distributors right now to start. The difference between Guidance and these RTDs, excuse me, when Guidance started, we had local distribution. For the ready to drinks, we're looking at national distribution from actually the beginning. Now we might not roll out in every city and state, but we'll have distribution for it. That RTD market is very, very popular. The product tastes really good. We've been talking to Southern and to RNDC, which are two big national distributors. That's gonna make anything that we've ever done with the whiskey blow up. If you reference the Jay-Z deal that he just did with Hennessy with his champagne, it was really a distribution deal. He was able to give up half of his company and make more than when he owned it full out because of the distribution. You can have a great product, but if your product can't go everywhere, then you're always going to be limited. So ready to drink will be starting with national distribution, which will be really big for us.
Very nice. Maria says, Jason, can you elaborate on Hydrate the Hood business?
Oh, of course I can. I can do it right here. So Hydrate the Hood is a nonprofit, and we take these cups. These cups actually alkalize water without a filter. The minerals are infused into the cup. Cup costs $40, and it lasts 2 years. When I was a marketing director at a healthcare facility out in California, we got introduced to these. The creator of it was approached with putting a alkaline water system in his home, and he believed in the technology. He knew the benefits of alkaline water, but he struggled with why it had to cost $5,000 for the system. And the person tried to sell it to him just didn't have a good enough answer for him. So he decided to do it, to make these cups on his own. I met them while in the medical industry, but I was doing work in Africa with Upendo Women's Foundation and other nonprofits and charities, and they saw that and they came to me and said, "Hey, look, we love what you're doing with these charities. We see that you're giving back. We want to give you this technology, and all that we ask that you do is to continue to donate to charity." So that was huge for me, right? Like that was, but it also became a really huge responsibility. So we had to figure out how we were going to do that, and Hydrate the Hood became the way. So for every time someone purchases one of these cups, you can actually we donate one to somebody in an underserved community. We just donated 350 to a school, elementary school here in Nashville, for all the teachers and the students, because during COVID, they couldn't drink out of water fountains due to the protocol. And so, most kids, if your parents are well off, you send your kid to school with a Yeti or some type of water bottle. But some of the kids in our underserved communities didn't have that. So they were actually not having anything to drink at school except for soda, pop and juice and stuff. So that's near and dear to my heart, because we have to do the work and getting our community healthy. My son's mom had stage 3 lymphoma. She's a cancer survivor. So having an alkaline diet, when she had to make those changes for herself as she was going through chemo, our whole family changed. Our whole family changed the way that we, do food, and this became a very big part of our own life. I think somebody asked about strategic partnerships too, though.
Mm-hmm.
Was that part of this question as well?
That was a question before, but you can touch back around to it.
Okay, cool. Strategic partnerships are huge. You can do a celebrity route. I think if you go on our page, you'll see we were with Bill Bellamy the other day, friends of mine from LA, and that definitely gains a lot of knowledge. But we have started working in other genres that other whiskeys and stuff didn't think about. So we're doing a partnership with WJ3 Jazz. They're a jazz record company. So we're partnering with jazz artists all over the world. We'll be releasing a lot of these things will be coming out in April. We'll be releasing the partnerships. but jazz is huge. We're doing a partnership with Zanies, which is a world famous comedy club here in Nashville, but they have clubs all around the United States. So comedy clubs, jazz clubs, the cigars take us to a whole nother level because we're partnering with cigar shops. So we definitely are liking, celebrity endorsements and stuff, but we're doing strategic partnerships with institutions that can push the brand forward.
Very good. Maria says, how much does it cost to make and how much does it sell for?
The whiskey,
Yes.
we're at about $12 a bottle in production. If you look at the guidance bottle, when you see it, our label actually has texture and the gold seal and stuff. We didn't really spare any expense on the bottle because we were going for a high quality product. So you'll see some other brands, they just slap a label on there, which is fine. But we went the extra mile, the gold encasing and stuff, and even the raised logo. So we went a little bit extra. We retail for $49.99 in stores. And to our distributors, we sell it to them for $170. So when you get into liquor, there's a 3-tier system. You sell it to the distributor sells it to the retail, which could be your liquor store, your bar, your restaurant, and then those places sell it to you.
Very good. Chris says, what distributor are you using? I'm actually a driver for Southern Glacier Wine and Spirits of Illinois.
Hey, what's up, man? Call
I
me.
was going to say,
No,
sounds like Chris, you need to email
and
Jason.
we're actually in. Yeah. That's funny because we're just talking to Benny's, which I didn't know was a huge chain in the Chicago land area. Right now, currently, we're actually in Chicago, but we're on consignment with a company called H2 Vino. So we definitely are looking for a big distributor there, especially to carry out this Benny's contract. But we're in different states and markets. We're with different distributors. So in Nashville, we're with Debt distributors. In Memphis, we're with Empire distributors. In Georgia, we're with Artisan, and Park Street and other areas. So it varies in different markets. I think it's in Missouri, major brands picked us up. So we're growing.
Robert says, what has been your strategy for introduction into new states for growth?
Man, that's one of the things that we are actually putting together now. We always start with Hallmark stores. You have to have some type of grounded, we call it the ground game. So what we do is we go into a market and we try to identify 5 popular stores that carry, that are placed strategically around a city. And then we try to partner with 3 to 4 venues. We then do events at the venues and we pump traffic from the venues to the stores. So that has worked really, really good. And when you start a relationship with places and cities that people really love and identify with, then it almost like cosigns for you. And then the other stores pick up from that because they don't want to be left out.
Very good. Bonnie says, Hennessy is branded as the black whiskey of choice. How will guidance cut into this brand recognition?
That's a very good question. We are slowly becoming people's favorite whiskey. I don't know if Hennessy calls itself the black of choice. I know that we in our community have done a lot to help that narrative. But I think what we've started to see is that people want quality product. They want it to come from somebody that looks like them. We provided that, and we started to see the shift. So there's music where people have started to use guidance. There's videos. You can find music videos where guidance is, which is the same thing that we did for Hennessy. We don't see ourselves as in competition. I think we're the new kids on the block. And so we're building our own legacy, and we're comfortable with taking our time to do that. We're talking about products and brands that have been here for over 100 years. We're in year 2. So we really have the time, and also having the community behind us, being able to have people say that they have invested in this is another strategy that we're using to actually bring people closer to the brand.
Very good. Josephus says, hi, what is the market share so far?
Um, for guidance, I would think that would be the question, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So as far as minority brands go, we are in the top 5 as far as production, distillation. We did 1,000 cases last year. We're on track to do 5,000 this year, really, really easily. Um, and we actually could probably hit that goal by summertime. There's a lot, as you guys probably know, that when we got started, there was less than 20 Black-owned brands in the market. Now there's over 100. So how do you keep that share? We've deemed ourselves as the brand that helps other brands. So if you go to our pages, we shout out other brands. I personally coach other brands on getting into the market, because I believe that that's how we'll maintain our market share. It's easy to shoot off to the top, be popular for a little while, but we're talking about longevity, and you're gonna need some people around you that if you walk, they'll walk. You know what I'm saying? That's how we're gonna gain our power. So I'm very intentional about helping other brands get in, and sustain.
How much money are you looking to raise?
We are capped out at $250,000. I think if you look on the honeycomb, our next goal is 100K, which I think we're about $20,000 away from that. If we hit that, then we'll go higher, but we cap out at 250.
Very good. Dwayne asks, why the name Guidance? What's the story behind that?
Oh yeah. Well, guidance, the name seems right. It's a toast to our ancestors. It's a toast to the brands that came before us. If you notice that the compass is our logo, and our definition, we have definition tees. It says, for guidance, it says, wisdom that enables excellence. I never want anybody to look at this product and think that it's just me. This is a culmination of 42 years of life, 42 years of friendship, of being a son, being a father, and being a friend. And we can still pull these things from each other. And so when you'll see it, when you open a bottle of guidance with some people, the conversations that come out and the things that start to flow and move, it feels really good. But we noticed that when we were actually doing our testing and stuff, we would start out with a test bottle, and an hour later, the whole test bottle would be gone. Like, come on, it's because it's that smooth. But we done talked about stories, we done talked about homecoming, we done talked about other business ideas. So that's guidance. It's a nod to our ancestors, our people, and to each other.
Wonderful. Sarah says, you mentioned Diageo with other brand verticals. Are you looking at having your liquor vertical acquired by a major distributor?
I think that we will leave that. Um, the answer is eventually we would, but it would have to be for a lot of money. And here's why I say that. When we jumped off and did this, it was important for us to lead the way and show people that they could. So if it's gonna be something that we're gonna sell, we're gonna sell it for almost hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars to show people that they can do that as well. So I still have a day job. So this is more than a passion project for me. It's a love project for me. Either we'll have it forever or we'll sell it for a whole lot of money that'll make a big difference in the community and say, okay, look, yeah, we can do that.
Good. Robert says, could you please tell us about your challenges as a Black-owned spirit company?
Yeah. Even in the beginning, just lack of where to go. You can have all the money you want, but if you don't know who to ask what and where to get what, you can quickly run through that. And I see a lot of people try to throw money at things that you need to really throw time and dedication at. And excuse me, being able to work with people, asking the right questions, and being humble has been one of the ways that we've been able to get through a lot of these things, because we've been places where they wouldn't even taste the whiskey. When we walk in, the owner won't even talk to us. Now, I have to say that that's not everywhere. I don't want to paint a picture that that's been the whole thing. There's been the people that show us tremendous amount of love, but what are you doing here is still is still very prevalent. And this doesn't wow me, or this, when they got stuff on their shelf that is nasty, but your product got to do backflips, right? And we're actually bringing the customers. You know what I mean? Because people, when they find out that you got guidance there, they come in to get it. So definitely think knowledge of industry was one of the challenges, and we rectify that every day through learning and talking to more distilleries and stuff. But then also just the nature of people in this country has been a challenge.
Very good. Brenda says, what are the projected sales for the whiskey? Also for all the products? And what about demand for the whiskey?
Okay, so that 5,000 cases for this year is about 80. I think it'll be about $800,000 in profit, which will be, I think we grossed 133, around 150 last year. So that will be significant growth. The demand is through the roof right now. It's through the roof. We are actually, I don't even know how to say this on here, but as of right now in Nashville, we are sold out. Our distributor came and picked up everything we had in the warehouse today. We've seen significant growth. And I don't think it'll be hard to maintain that, especially as now we grow, we can do more PR. So when you get we've been doing all this boots on the ground, like person to person. But when you can add a marketing budget, when you can add a PR budget, when you can add a commercial, these are all things that gets eyes on your product. Now, the other products those are selling super fast. And I liken it to everything we're doing is first edition. So some of this stuff will never be done again. Like, we don't know how long you'll be able to get this Gervais guidance coffee, which has also won 2 awards. I'll tell you that this coffee, when he brought it back to me and told me that, hey, I made you a coffee with your whiskey, he had already entered in 2 contests that had won. So, but you may not be able to get this next year. So people are buying the things up that are connected to the brand at a very, very high rate. So also, having some of this money, we'll be able to buy more of the stuff in bulk, right? Which will also lower some of our product costs. Because before, just transparently, we would buy a little bit, we would sell that, and then we'll buy some more, and then we'll sell that, and then we'll buy some more. This will give us a chance to have greater inventory, which will increase our revenue stream.
So let's expand on that a little bit, because the next question is, how will you use the money raised? So expand a little bit more on that, since you kind of touched on that.
Yeah, that's number one product. That's the number one thing. That's our goal. Like, the dollar is backed by gold, so they say. Then our dollar is backed by whiskey. We have to have product to expand into 10 new markets, and that's just right now, right? That's before people start calling us even more. We have to be able to keep up with the demand. The number one thing that you don't want to have happen is people can't get the product when they want it. When they finally decide to try it or they want to show somebody and they go and they say, oh, we don't have it. So foreseeing that being a situation that could have happened to us, we're ramping up to produce more product. And then marketing and PR, right? Being able to tell this story to a vast group of people, and then also being able to provide them with t-shirts and hats and clothes and things to rock the brand. Like those are the things that we're using the money for.
Very good. Purple Lioness says, do the chocolates have alcohol in them too?
Yes, they do. Yes, they
I don't think
do.
that's the answer she wanted because she posted in the chat that she didn't drink.
Oh, okay. We got something for you though. We got Tim Southern
You gotta
Tea.
make some that just have like a hint of it in it or something.
Oh yeah, so it's not something, you know, with anybody with chocolate and stuff, it bakes off, right? So it's not a situation where you're gonna get twisted off of it. But what they've done, man, is they've been able to capture that the smokiness, vanilla of the whiskey with some different types of chocolates. It's not just milk chocolate. It's like a Nigerian mint. I mean, it's crazy the stuff that we let the artist be the artist, you know. So we'll have to find her something with no. If she can't taste alcohol at all, we'll find you something.
Very good. Ray says, who would you say is your competition at this time of growth?
Man, so we look at that total, like earlier, like what I said, we don't really look at it as competition. I think that all of us are needed for the industry to grow. Like if there's only one brand in it, then you know that's not moving this community forward at all. A lot of folks, and the funniest thing is when you get down to Black owned spirits, that's one of the biggest things that people want is competition. Like everybody tries to say, well, Uncle Nearest or is that your competition? And we say, they uncle, we nephew. You know what I mean? We look up to them. They came before us. That's the whole thing about guidance. We're bringing more people to the table, and in that, that's the thing that's setting us apart. It's as lifting as we climb. So we have a very distinct flavor, but I challenge people to think this way. When you go to somebody's home and they have an extensive whiskey or bourbon collection, right? They might have a Weller or a Willet or a Buffalo Trace special edition. When you look at that person's collection, you're like, wow, that's something to be esteemed. It's like, wow, you're a collector because you have all these different things. We never say Buffalo Trace is in competition with Weller. These are all names that are mainstays in the industry. It's only when we sometimes get to minority brands that we do that. So I think if you got a bottle of Uncle Nearest on your shelf and you might just happen to have it signed, you know what I mean? That's just as special
Now
as
you're just showing off. Now you're just
you know
showing
what I
off.
mean? You know what I mean? But I think we need to look at it that way. Your collection should be extensive, and it should have all the good stuff in it.
I love that. Purple Lioness says, do you ship to the UK? And I'll expand that question and say, do you ship anywhere internationally yet?
We don't yet, but it's so funny that she said that because I was talking to the guys from Bro Brothers Bourbon, which is, you know,
They're right here in Louisville.
Exactly. And a lot of people don't know about, for them, they were exporting. I mean, before they got into doing their own product, they were exporting liquor from the UK back to the United States. So I actually did a call with them to talk about the UK and their experience and stuff there, and they're looking at getting me some information because the UK and actually France are two places that we're looking at expanding to first internationally.
Nice, very nice. Oh, I saw a comment. Trent says, I tried to access the campaign and gave me an error. Trent, try again, because I'm still on the website and it's working fine. And I just clicked on the campaign and it's coming right up as well. So try again, log out and maybe try again or try a different browser. Ricky says,
if something doesn't work, like he can let us know and we can honeycomb contact them directly if he still has an issue.
Perfect. Ricky says, I spent 20 years working for Jack Daniels. Do you plan to gain distributors throughout the country?
Yes, for sure. Yes, for sure. But we want to grow. We want to grow smart. We don't want to run ourselves in the ground. And we get a chance. We like getting a chance to spend time in the market and grow. But yeah, we definitely do plan on getting more distributors for the whiskey. Like I said, for the tea, for the ready to drink, that should have it when it starts. But for the whiskey, yeah, we definitely want to get distributors all over the United States.
Very good. So we're at our last 8 minutes because last week I went till 9:10. So I want to be fair and I'm going to go till 9:10 tonight.
Good.
Vivian says, first question, she's got two questions. First one says, do you use farmers of African descent for your products? And then our second question is the corn, etc., used organic?
Okay, the first part you broke up. What was the first?
Do you use farmers of African descent for your products?
For the corn? No, we don't yet. It's all made in Iowa. But it's funny with our distillery. That's one of the things that, and I love these guys because they're just super transparent. They are actually helping us find people that we can start to source our products because we want to control the whole supply chain. Let's just call it what it is. All right, we're doing this small part, but this is bigger. So we need to control every aspect of this at some point, and that's our end goal. So, but like I was saying in the earlier, like where to start with that, where to find that, and our distillery is actually, they recognize that is something that was important to us, and so we're actually looking to partner with minority farmers, not just in Iowa, but even in Tennessee and other places.
Wonderful. I'm going to answer Oliver's question because we talked about it already. Oliver wants to know, how much are you seeking? The next goal is 100,000, Oliver, to cap at 250. And you want to know what the profit percentages and the investor offering is? Go to honeycombcredit.com on live investments or live campaigns, I think it says, and then find guidance and you'll see the details of the raise there. The next question is, since your product is corn-based, how is your corn sourced, organic or GMO? And I think you talked about how it's sourced, but did you answer the organic part?
No, it is. It is organic.
Very good.
Yep.
Damon says, do you own 100% of your company? And if not, what type of partner do you have? Except, for example, Silent Financial.
This is my partner, Damon. 100% owner, man.
Very good. Mm-hmm. Next question says, are your current distribution and collabs Black owned as well, aside from the coffee you mentioned is Haitian?
Some yes, some no. So what you look at on the website, everything except the cigars those are Black owned. The cigars are sourced. We were actually use a local company here, but they were from Cuba as well. One of the partners in that company actually just recently passed away, but the Bacardi family were the people who actually made our cigars for us. These first ones. So, but yeah, other than that, it's Black owned. But we partner with everybody. Like, I mean, that's if you want to work with us, we want to work with you.
All right. Charles says, what states currently have products in distribution and on the shelves in stores?
Currently, as far as statewide, you can find us in Tennessee, California, Kentucky, Iowa, and I think New York.
Right. Ricky says for the ready to drink, it's a very competitive space.
Yeah.
Does RNC and Southern have major ready to drink brands that are currently within their portfolio?
That's something what we're doing the research on right now to see, because that's really, we want to find the company that has the best, that has knowledge of it already, that can help push us to the top. So that's part of our due diligence that we're doing right now.
Okay, and then Ricky has a couple of more parts to that question.
Yeah.
What major suppliers do they have? And then what segment can guidance capture that would be an added market or niche for RNC and or Southern?
All right, what was the first part?
What major suppliers do they have?
What major suppliers would RNDC or Southern Glazers have?
That's what I believe the reference is, yeah. Or,
Yeah,
or Ricky, are you asking what major suppliers does Jason have, does guidance have?
because we're considered the supplier.
Yeah, I believe he's asking about RNC and Southern, just based on how the question was phrased. But if I see Jason come back with clarification, we'll go back to it. We got 2 more minutes.
Yeah,
Um,
but let me talk.
Go ahead.
He said the segments in the niche part. Yeah, that's huge because we are a punch tea. So there's nothing on the market right now. So even if you look at the whiskey brands, even Crown, Jack, they've mixed their stuff with cola or with peach or anything. We would be the dominant, and even if you look on the can, we call it punch tea. Like we created our own lane of even name for the product. There's not a tea based mix with whiskey that exists right now.
Okay. Okay, next question is, how much of your own money have you invested in guidance?
Lots. Lots. I cleared my bank account to buy our first run, my savings to buy this first run. So yeah, lots of it. Lots of it. It's I've self-funded.
Okay. And then I think I have time for one more question because it's 9:09. Last question is going to be, why debt, not equity?
Why debt, not equity? Because I want to be able to get to know my investors before they can make decisions over the whole business. So really, this is a starting point, right? This, like you said earlier, this won't be the last time we do it. I get to know people, but before I can give people a piece of the whole business, I need to know you. And I'm not gonna get to know you just by pieces of, sitting down, reading pieces of paper and stuff. We need time. So now we're gonna have some time to get to know each other and grow.
Okay. Very good. And it is 9:10. I'm going to share again. Honeycombcredit.com is the website where Jason's campaign is being housed. Guidance Whiskey is the company. As I stated earlier, Honeycomb is going to waive fees associated with a crowdfunding raise. They're going to waive those for the next 24 hours. So if this pitch is something that already you're interested in, you don't want to miss that fee being waived. That's a big deal. If you need a little more time, do some more due diligence and make a decision, Jason's campaign is live until 3/19. So March 19th is the last day. So that's 10 more days for the campaign to be active. Jason, you want to say any final words?
Yeah, I just want to thank you again for having me. I love the 10K project and what y'all are doing. This is so important. Thank you to everybody who came on here to listen to us talk about this opportunity. And either if you invest or if you don't invest, add us on your social media channels. Just keep in touch with us and watch us. Watch us over time. We'll be coming to a city near you. Get a chance to taste this juice and tell your friends about it.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I mean, what we've heard this evening, make sure you give a shout out. If you're not a drinker, if you are a drinker, give a shout out on social media. let the world know what this brother is doing. I love how, when we explained what guidance meant, I got chills, right? Because that's exactly what we're trying to do here in the 10K. Pay homage to those who came before us and look after those that are around us. So, we're in this together. Thank you guys again for joining us for another week of our Bet on Black Pitches. We will see you again next Tuesday at 8 with another amazing Black founder that we're going to highlight and put on a pedestal for a couple of hours and just celebrate. So we're so excited that these entrepreneurs are out there doing their thing, and they could be doing something different, but they're not. They're making money and building businesses, and they're doing it in a way that we can benefit as investors. So kudos to all of the entrepreneurs that we have. But Jason, thank you so much. We will be chatting. We will definitely stay in touch. And Jason's a member of the community now too, guys. He is a member of 10K. So we will be seeing him. And he's not going anywhere. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Thank y'all.
Bye.